Have you ever witnessed a moment so powerful it rewrites your entire life? I'm about to take you inside a glass tower on 52nd Street in Manhattan, where snow fell that morning, gentle, lazy flakes turning the city into a living painting. The kind of snow that hushes the world, covers its scars with a silver veil. But the real silence? It wasn't out there on the streets. It was inside my penthouse, a place where I once thought I had it all. A view that could make you gasp, money that multiplied on its own, awards lining the walls, a reputation that opened every door. My name is Richard Hargrove, and back then, I was a billionaire who believed he could buy anything. Anything, that is, except what my little girl, Lily, needed most. Lily was 8 years old, born with cerebral palsy, a condition that turned every word, every step, into a mountain she had to climb. You'd think with my wealth, I could have found a shortcut, a cure, something to ease her struggle. I threw everything at it: top-tier therapists, world-class doctors, cutting-edge technology, a parade of nannies. But nothing reached her. Not really. And then, after my wife Helen passed away, the house didn't just quiet down, it died. No music, no laughter, just echoes of a family that used to be. I'd stand at those floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out at the skyline, and wonder what it was all for. Can you imagine that kind of emptiness, even with a fortune at your fingertips? But here's where it gets wild. One day, a shadow slipped into that silence. Her name was Maria, a maid recommended by one of the night janitors. She wasn't flashy, didn't come with a resume full of credentials. She was quiet, moving through the apartment like a ghost, dusting shelves, polishing floors, tidying up the mess of a life that felt more like a mirage than reality. I barely noticed her at first. Why would I? I was too busy counting my losses. But Lily? She noticed. Kids have a way of seeing what we miss, don't they? They feel the heartbeat beneath the surface before we ever do. It was an accident that changed everything. I came home early one afternoon, the snow still drifting outside, the penthouse eerily still. But then I heard it, a rhythm, a pulse I hadn't felt in years. I followed it, my heart pounding, unsure what I'd find. And there, in the sunroom, bathed in the last orange rays of the day, were Maria and Lily. Maria was holding Lily's hands, guiding her in a slow, swaying dance to a song only they could hear. And Lily, oh, Lily, she was laughing. Not a timid giggle, not a forced sound, but a full, free laugh that shattered years of grief and silence like glass. I froze, breath caught in my chest, afraid to move, afraid to break whatever magic was happening. What would you do if you stumbled into a miracle like that? That night, I called Maria into my study. I didn't know what to say. Part of me feared I'd scare her off, that she'd think she'd overstepped. She stood there, waiting, her eyes steady but tired, like she carried secrets I couldn't yet see. All I could manage was, "Thank you. I saw you with Lily." I saw her laugh. She smiled, a soft, worn smile, and said, "There's music in her heart. I just helped her find it." Those words hit me like a wave. For the first time since Helen's funeral, I cried. Not a polite tear, but a flood, letting it all out. Something shifted that night, a crack in the dam I'd built around my heart. The days that followed brought more changes. Maria didn't just clean anymore. She sang while she worked, her voice filling the rooms with Spanish lullabies and English folk tunes. She clapped hands with Lily, taught her silly songs, told stories that made my daughter's eyes light up. Little by little, Lily started trying new words, mimicking sounds, even taking shaky steps when Maria held her steady. I found myself joining in, at first because Lily wanted me to, then because I needed it, too. I learned Maria had once been a ballerina in Puerto Rico, dancing with grace until life pulled her away, to send money home, to care for her family. I asked her once if she missed it. She shrugged and said, "Sometimes you dance with your feet. Sometimes you dance with your heart." Do you know what that feels like, to find someone who teaches you to move again? One afternoon, I watched Lily take 3 unsteady steps toward Maria, her laughter ringing out like a bell. It broke something open in me. All those millions spent on experts, and the answer had been right there: happiness isn't a purchase, it's a moment. The next day, I called Maria into my office. She looked nervous, probably thinking she'd done something wrong. But I said, I want you to help me build something. A place for kids like Lily, music, therapy, movement, love, all of it. I want you to run it. She stared at me, stunned, muttering, I don't know anything about running a center. I smiled and told her, you know how to reach a child's heart. I'll teach you the rest. A year later, the Lily Center opened its doors, with Maria as our creative director, weaving joy into every class. Kids who were told they'd never walk took their first steps. Kids who never spoke found words in rhythm. And Lily? She's 10 now, running well, wobbling down those halls, never stopping her chatter. One day, a reporter cornered me, all sharp questions and polished shoes. What's your greatest achievement? He asked. I pointed out the window, where Maria twirled Lily under the open sky, and said, hiring a maid who taught my daughter to dance. That's my legacy, brought to you by Real Stories Diary. But the story didn't end there. On Lily's birthday, with streamers and off-key singing filling the center, an elderly woman approached me, hands trembling around an envelope. Please, she whispered, may I have a moment? Inside was a will, faded with time, revealing Maria as my half-sister, a secret my father had buried. We hugged, family at last, and Lily's voice rang out, family. That word was the true miracle. So, tell me, what would you do if one moment could change a life? Even if it turned your world upside down? Leave your thoughts, brought to you by Real Stories Diary.